Hello, I am V and welcome to my kitchen, and this is the Eating with V show. On this episode, we have Christi Buck, and her company is Vitality and Wellness Nutrition Center. And we will be making Keto Cheesecake fat bombs that are dairy, gluten, grain, and sugar-free. And we will also be making chocolate candy that also has no sugar and no bad things in it. And you will not want to miss this episode of Eating with V. Welcome to the show, Christi. It's such a pleasure to have you on the show.
Yes, I'm excited.
It's awesome. Christi is a nutritionist, and I'm really excited to have her on the show because with her being a nutritionist, she can explain things that I, as a integrative nutrition health coach, can't explain. So, Christi, tell us a little bit about your business name, how can they find you?
Yeah, so I'm a functional and holistic registered dietitian, nutritionist, so it's a long name. I own Vitality Wellness and Nutrition Center in Vero Beach. Actually, I've just gone virtual, so I'm doing everything online now. So I can reach more people. People drive a couple hours to me, so it makes it easier for them.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's crazy. But it's awesome that you're able to do all of that online. Like you can give them that same service.
It works out nice because they're at home and I'm saying, okay, well, they'll have a question. I'm like, well, go grab it. Let's look at the ingredients or let's look at this, and makes it so much easier.
Yeah, I think that's wonderful. And that's one of those services that you can. It's not like you're having to take blood pressure or take blood or do anything else. And do you have blood type testing that people can do that you can check other things?
I do food sensitivity, I do gut microbiome, I do toxins, I do heavy metals.
That's awesome.
All kinds of testing,
Yeah, we find the microbiome is like the biggest thing. Like everybody's got gut issues today.
Oh yeah.
Well,
we know younger and younger.
Yeah, well, the food gets worse and worse.
Oh yeah, definitely.
And all the sugars that they're putting in everything.
Yeah.
That's why Christi and I are really in agreement on that particular. Like we're in agreement on a lot of stuff.
Oh yeah.
But I mean, the sugars in particular, like she gave me this sheet and I had to make sure that I brought it on here. So I'm going to post this sheet from Christi on my Facebook page, and I'll probably put it up to my website as well. That's eatingwithv.com. But she's got a list here. It's like 143 reasons why sugar ruins your health. And what do you see as like the biggest challenge with the sugars?
It's so addictive.
Yeah,
I mean, it hits the same receptor as heroin on the brain. So it's hard for people to get off of it. And if they can just stick it out and get past that hurdle, they can do it for sure.
Oh, yeah. And they hide it in everything. They just hide it everywhere. And that's why I think what I do here with the Eating with V, you know, we incorporate in, and not all, alternate sugars are good.
Right.
So I literally have my sugars tested. I have all of my sweeteners tested with my doctor, my holistic doctor, and he uses a practice called kinesiology. And so that tests well. If they test well, I use them, I bring them on the show. If they don't test well, they're not even in this, they're not in this space. So we're going to make something fun together today.
Cool.
And we're actually going to make a keto fat bomb, a cheesecake fat bomb.
Nice.
But it's not going to have any dairy or sugar.
Yeah.
So it's going to be one of those really yummy things. So are you ready to go to work?
I am.
Awesome. We're putting Christi to work like we do at all of our wonderful guests on the show. We're going to have you set that up.
Okay.
And I'll start explaining some of these ingredients. So this is a non-dairy cream cheese. It's a coconut base. It is actually one of my favorites. So if you go onto my Facebook page where most of my blog is, it's Eating with V, and I post different types of products that I don't talk about here on the show. So, but it's a non-dairy cream cheese, and it is amazing. It tastes exactly like cream cheese, as close as you can get to cream cheese without having the dairy in it. And then for purposes of this show, I can have organic butter, but I can't have regular butter. So I'm not a can of dairy in general, but for some reason I can have organic butter. But I put the vegan butter on the show just because a lot of people that will be watching are dairy free too.
Exactly.
Might not be able to have
I encourage that anyway.
Yeah, the vegan butter. And this is one with no soy. So with the cream cheese, that's one small container. So what's that, 8-ounce container of cream cheese. And then we have a half a cup of vegan butter. So we're going to put that right in there. And I'm going to have you start mixing that, if you would.
Sure.
And then we're going to add a erythritol. This is a powdered erythritol, and it's 3/4 of a cup. So we're just going to put that in there. This recipe is so easy. Is that like the smoke that comes out? And all it is just that. And then you just have a little bit of vanilla. So I use 2 teaspoons of pure vanilla, not the fake vanilla. You see how it's coming together?
Yeah, it looks good.
Isn't that yummy?
And do you talk about brands that you use for butters and?
I do on the Facebook page.
Yep.
I don't do it on the show.
Yeah.
And I think that's good. We can stop there so we can not kill everybody with the noise. And now basically this is just so simple. From here, we really are just going to put that mixture into the little cups and then freeze it.
Okay.
So it'll go into the freezer for like 15 or 20 minutes, and then you can store them in the refrigerator if you want, or you can leave them in the freezer. It doesn't matter. The non-dairy, what I find with non-dairy cream cheese though, is it has a different, like a bit of a weird texture when it's frozen. So if you're gonna serve them, you know, you can keep them frozen and then bring them out and kind of let them thaw a little bit so that people can eat them.
Yeah, that makes sense.
But see how super easy that was?
Quick.
Yeah, Christy and I are going to go ahead and fill these cups. So we're going to take a quick commercial break, and then we'll come back and we actually are going to make another treat. We're going to make chocolate candy together. So we're going to take this quick break and we'll see you in just a few moments.
As the gut guru and IBS survivor, Christi Buck has been in your shoes. She is a functional and holistic registered dietitian and nutritionist who helps her clients to finally end their lifelong digestive issues. She finds the missing pieces to their health puzzle so they can feel vibrant again. Christi's clients see a significant reduction in symptoms in as little as 10 days. VWANC.com. At iCryo in St. Lucie West, we're elevating your lifestyle with services that eliminate pain and inflammation that you simply can't get anywhere else. From whole body cryotherapy to red light therapy, compression therapy, Pilates and more, cryofacials, body sculpting, even IV therapy, iCryo truly has everything you need to recover faster, safely, and affordably. Elevate your lifestyle at iCryo Recovery and Wellness in St. Lucie West.
Welcome back. So now that our keto cheesecake balls are in the freezer getting ready for Christy to taste them here on the show, we're going to go ahead and make something else for you, which is another, I think it's another one of those weaknesses, like an addiction that people have is chocolate. So we're going to make a healthier version of chocolate today so that people could actually eat chocolate candy and not have the same effects that you would from eating a regular chocolate bar. Are we ready?
Yep.
Okay, so excited. So we just start, our very first ingredient is 1 cup of organic coconut oil. And I use unrefined coconut oil. So you can use whatever you want, preferably organic, but this is coconut oil. And you heat it so you can microwave it. You can do it on, I mean, a lot of people are against the microwave. You can nuke it or you can cook it on the stove. Just make sure it's hot. And then you're going to use 1/2 of a baker's bar, unsweetened baker's bar. And you can just put those right in there and start mixing them up so that we melt that chocolate.
Nice.
And you can use your fingers. We're on the show. I'm a country girl. I put my hands in everywhere. So tell us a little bit, while we're waiting for this thing to mix here, tell us a little bit about, you know, what are you seeing like the most of with your clients? What's a challenge that they have that you could share with our viewers, that something that they might be able to take?
Yeah, I see a lot of things, but I'm seeing a lot of younger people, like in their 20s, that have a lot going on. Normally you'd see those things in their 70s or 80s, but just a lot of GI issues, but even autoimmune, but everything starts in the gut. So thyroid, autoimmune, heart issues, dementia, you name it, starts there. So, you know, we have to start by, you know, getting a picture of what's going on. So my intake form is quite long. I ask a lot of questions, but my goal is getting to the root cause of the problem. And then, you know, we always start by cleaning up the diet, and I do a lot of education. I give them some documentaries to watch, and we have to, that way they're kind of in it knowing, all right, I understand why I need to look at my microbiome. I understand why the food industry is a hot mess. So doing
now,
those
can you
sorts of
give
things.
them the resources? Like we were talking about, you have a lot of resources at your website. Can you share?
Yeah, so one of the things I have is called the Big Four Guide. So it's basically the 4 big reasons why most people are getting sick. So to have, working on eliminating those things out of your life. So it's on my website, so they can download the guide, and it'll be delivered right to their email. Yeah,
That's perfect. So they can find that at your website. Can you give them the website?
So it's www.vwanc.com.
And you'll be able to see that on the replay here and the information at my site, which is eatitwithv.com. So does it feel like
Yeah,
it's
it feels like
starting
it's all melted.
All right. So now I like to add a tiny bit of pink Himalayan salt, just because salt brings up the flavor of the chocolate, but you don't have to do that. But I would do just like a little pinch of salt to bring up that flavor. And then I'm using in here a liquid sucralose, which it did actually test well, which is the reason that it's going in here. Not like a Splenda that's a powdered Splenda that's bleached and, all molested. This is more of a liquid version, which actually did test well for me, but you can try any sweetener that you want. If you have a stevia sweetener or a monk liquid sweetener that you want to do, you can put the drops of that in until it comes up to the taste that you like.
And those are 2 good ones too.
Yeah,
for
the
sure.
stevia, and they mix the stevia with erythritol blends, and they have all kinds of things now. So you can use whatever sweetener you want and just bring that chocolate up to that flavor that you like.
Yep, absolutely.
And another simple dessert. So now what we're going to do is we're just going to make sure you use the parchment paper, or you'll never get the chocolate out of the pan. If you do, it will be a hot mess. It will look not so appealing. So basically, all you do is pour this into this prepared pan, and then just spread it around. I think between the 2 of us, we can do that. We all know parchment paper is a little bit of a bear to work with, so I highly recommend folding it into the pan before you try to put your chocolate in there. And then you can see how it sticks up in there.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and then make sure when you put it in your freezer that you make it nice and level. So back to the, I do have to tell you, it's 50 drops of the Easy Sweets if you're using the liquid sucralose Easy Sweets. And then the other, you're going to have to, if you're using a different sweetener, you're going to need to bring it up to your flavor. So that's what I have for that. And the salt was just a pinch. And that's super easy. So we now are going to, Christi and I are going to put this chocolate into the freezer. And then we're going to come back and Christi gets to try both of these yummies on the show. So don't go away. We'll be right back. At Your Body Bliss, our passion is creating handcrafted bath and body products. Our products are formulated in small batches with ethically sourced raw ingredients. Our soaps are hand-poured the good old-fashioned way. Our lotions are thick and creamy with no junk fillers. We make authentic Castile soap, extraordinary beard oils, relaxing bath bombs, and so much more, all made by hand with love from our family to yours. Visit us at yourbodybliss.com. MH Flooring Services. When you are ready to do your much-needed floor remodeling, give Mike Henry a call. He will bring the showroom to you. He passes on his savings to you by buying direct through the flooring manufacturer. Check out MH Flooring Services' outstanding floors and amazing all-in-one installation costs. They have a great reputation and satisfied customers. Call Mike anytime, 772-214-9120. Welcome back. And now is the moment of truth when Christi gets to try all of these amazing things. And I do want to mention, this is what our chocolate looks like when it comes out of the freezer. And when you put it in the freezer, you want to leave it there for at least 15, maybe 20 minutes, let it get nice and hard and crunchy. And then after that, you can keep it in the refrigerator, but it does have to solidify. And I will say to you, mind your levelness in the freezer, because mine actually came out, it was a little thin on one end and thick at the back end because I have a lot of stuff in my freezer. So if you can, level it off so that it will stay nice and level, but it's going to taste equally as delicious. And then you just break it up from there, which is what we've done for you.
Yes.
So these are normally like these bite-sized pieces. You can break them into little pieces, big pieces, however you want, but help yourself.
Okay.
We want to have you try it out. You know what? We were talking about something on the break before we have you with food in your mouth. And share with us, because that was something that was really interesting to me. Christi has one more thing that we want to talk about real quick before she tries her food.
Yeah, so I like to have my clients kind of see the results in numbers sometimes. So I have them do a symptom survey where they score all their symptoms throughout their body, right? And normally what I see is, say their score is 150. Within 2 weeks or so, that score gets cut in half with the work that I do with them.
Oh, that's exciting.
So they can see the results through their numbers and like, oh, wow, that went from, 150 to 75, right?
Give them
So-
your website one more time so that if you want to reach out or find that information that you give them.
So it's www.vwanc.com.
VWANC.com.
Right.
Okay.
Yep.
Very good. And it'll be on the video as well, so you can find it in the description.
All
So go
right.
ahead and try your
this out.
chocolate. Keep in mind, folks, that this will melt. It is made with coconut oil, so it will melt. Make sure
very
you
good.
keep it. Isn't it yummy?
Yeah.
For
It fits the sweetness that someone's craving, right?
Isn't it great?
Yeah, it's good. It does melt quick.
And don't forget, you can actually do anything. This is a very basic chocolate recipe. I've made it with almonds. I've made it with low sugar cranberries. I've put 0 sugar dark cherry, dried
nice.
cherries in it. Like if people can have that fruit.
Yeah.
If you're candida, you can't have that stuff.
Right.
But you can put any kind of nut in there. I've used quinoa puffs, which make it like a Nestle Crunch.
Yep.
Oh my gosh, it's fabulous. So you can do so much with this chocolate recipe. It's amazing.
Yeah.
And now you got to try your keto cheesecake fat bomb that's actually dairy free. And those guys you can keep in the freezer too, so
That's
they'll
very
stay
good.
harder. What do you
It tastes like a real cheesecake.
right? So for your clients that needed that,
Yeah,
you know,
that fix.
to get them away from sugar.
Exactly.
Yeah,
That
isn't it
is
exciting?
wonderful. I like that.
So the recipes will be on my website, eatingwithv.com, and obviously you have the video so you can watch them all. And thank you so much
you're
for
so
coming on the
welcome.
show. It was such a pleasure to have
Yes.
you here.
Thank you for having me.
Oh my gosh, I have a special surprise for you too.
Oh.
I almost forgot. Thankfully,
Oh.
I did not. This, and I think you of all people will appreciate this. These are actually protein bars that are made. This is an egg white protein, but I've made them with pea protein, and I put a tiny layer of chocolate
Oh, cool.
on the bottom.
Nice.
And it's filled with nuts and seeds, organic cocoa butter, food grade,
Nice.
just lots of awesomeness, almond butter. They're very nutrient dense.
That is good. I really like that.
And they're filled with nutrients, like full of nuts and seeds, the good healthy fats. They have that touch of sweet. So I really wanted to present you with something.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Those are good. Thank
Isn't
you
that
so
yummy?
much.
Thank you so much for coming on the show. I really appreciate having you
Yes,
here.
thank you for having me.
Thank you. And we will look forward to seeing you on the next episode of Eating with V.